A very warm welcome to the Meet the Squaddies series. Kate, how are you today, Kate?
I'm good. Started the day with a bit of yoga escapes. That's always the best way to start the day.
I think so as well. I actually really like doing it on a Monday morning first thing because I think sometimes, Monday can be quite, well, I don't know, I feel like it can be quite overwhelming sometimes. So just to start the week and the day with a bit of calm and a bit of clarity and focus feels
Yeah,
a really
sure.
nice way to begin the week.
Always.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kate, thank you so much for, spending your evening with me tonight. Thank you. I'd love to just start with, a little bit about who you are, who's Kate, what do you currently do for everybody who doesn't yet know you?
So I am Kate. I'm a primary school teacher. I have only been doing that for about 4 years. Previously to that, I was a sales manager at a golf club. So it was quite a big change in career at the time. I live in Newark with my husband and my just 11-year-old. He was 11 a couple of weeks ago. And I've also got two grown-up stepchildren. So Lucy is 27, Tom is 22. And then I'm also nana to Jensen and Cooper. So Jensen is 2.5 and Cooper is 7 weeks this week or 8 weeks this week. So two lovely grandchildren as well. So life is pretty hectic. Hence why I kind of ended up with you guys in Lorna's squad. So fit something in for me
Yeah,
around
absolutely.
people.
Well, with it being online, yeah, definitely, because you can make sure you fit it in around the kids, the grandkids, work,
Yeah,
like everything you've got going off. So that's so
yeah.
interesting then, that you used to do like the sales management, did you say? Sales
Sales
management at
manager.
golf
Yeah.
clubs. Yeah, to being a
Yeah.
primary school teacher. What made you want to, yeah, to make that career shift?
Um, it was a funny one, to be honest. My husband kind of moved jobs. We met at the golf club and we worked together for quite a long time. And then he fancied a bit of a change. So he moved out of that and he ended up kind of moving away, worked away for a little while. And then William and I moved up to Derbyshire. We lived in Derbyshire for a few years. And at that point, it just gave me a chance to reset. Like I found sales really stressful. And it sounds really cheesy when you talk to teachers. It's like, I just wanted to teach them to make a difference. But that's what I felt like I needed to do. Like, I needed to make a difference to lives. Like, it was great. It was lovely. Like, we planned weddings. We had a lovely time. It was a really nice job. But I just didn't feel like I was having an impact on anything. It wasn't really did it matter if I turned up on a Monday morning or not? Probably not really. So I actually then moved to Derbyshire. Luckily, he was working, so I didn't have to for a little while. And I was a dinner lady first, then I was a TA, then I trained to be a teacher. So I've kind of worked my way through school life. So yeah, it was a big change, but like I can't imagine doing anything else now. Like it's a really hard job being a teacher. Like I mean, I underestimated how hard it would be, but I absolutely love it. And being with the kids all day is just it's so fun. It's hard work, but it's fun as well. So
Oh,
and it does make a difference. You feel like you're turning up every day and the children are pleased to see you and it's just really nice. So
yeah. So you kind of gone from one stressful job to another stressful job, but one that is stressful like with purpose. So you're living
yeah,
a life more in line with your values as opposed to before because you feel like you're making a difference. I
yeah, definitely.
completely understand. I totally get that. Being there myself, definitely. And so it'd be great to kind of maybe backtrack a little bit. If we reverse back a few years, we can go as far back as you want, really. Um, just want to get a bit of an idea of your journey with fitness and exercise and maybe how you grew up with it. What was the norm for you growing up with
Um,
with fitness?
I had like a quite a fun childhood. Like I've got an older brother and he was really, really sporty. So he was brilliant at cricket, brilliant at football. So actually kind of my early life was a lot of come on, Kate, your brother's got a cricket match. Come on, we've got to go to football. And I kind of grew up in a world where I just had to do that. I had to go with the flow. But I loved it. And I loved, my mum and dad were really into sport as well. We used to go and watch a lot of, local football clubs as well. So I didn't actually do that much sport myself. I was kind of, I guess, I wouldn't say in the shadows, but I wasn't bothered. I used to like going and watching it. At secondary school, I played a bit of tennis, played a bit of hockey, wasn't like that fussed about any of it really, to be honest. Hated cross country, which is ironic now how much I actually love running. I remember my mum saying, "Oh, it's cross country tomorrow." I said, "I'm not doing it." She said, "What do you mean you're not doing it?" I said, "If you don't write me a note to get me out of cross country, I'm not going to school." That's how much I thought running was pointless and horrible and hated it. Then kind of went off to university. Again, didn't really do much there, just the usual, going out partying, probably too much. So I probably neglected my health and my fitness quite a lot until I was probably mid-20s. Then I got into the gym, played a bit of golf, obviously working at a golf course as well. Got quite obsessed with the gym, but I would say looking back now, it's probably for the wrong reasons. Like all I was bothered about was how I looked and how slim I was and did I fit into a size 8 pair of jeans. And I think over time, that's obviously changed quite a lot now, but got together with my husband, then partner, kind of then fell back into sitting on the sofa, eating lots of takeaways, not really doing very much exercise. Then having William, kind of again, I don't know if it's the same for a lot of people, but when I had William, I just lost all sense of who I was and what was I doing? And I just became a mum. And I think, maybe other people felt like that as well when they have children. But then William just became my world and everything he did, I was his mum and nothing else. Then as he got a bit older, that kind of changed a little bit, although I still feel like I am mainly William's mum and nobody else. And then it's probably only since July last year that my friends at school, actually, a couple of them do a lot of park running. They do a lot of running. Actually, I was really struggling quite a lot with my mental health. You obviously know that I lost my mum 3 years ago quite suddenly, and I'll come back to that. But I was really struggling to just find myself, to focus. Work was getting on top of me. Every life was just too much for me, and I just couldn't cope. And said, "Come on, Kate, come and do a park run with us." And I was like, "Oh, I don't run. I don't like running. I've never really run." Okay. And they kind of twisted my arm up my back. And we went over to Clumber Park and we did the park run. And then we went for coffee, which is obviously always a bonus. And then actually I just thought, "Oh my God, I feel amazing." I wasn't very quick. And I was like, breathing, thought I was going to die and all that. But actually I loved it so much that actually I started to go to the park runs in Newark, started to do a few park runs with them, built up the courage to kind of go by myself sometimes as well. And actually it just gave me that kind of half an hour, 40 minutes on a Saturday morning to just be me. I didn't have to think about what anybody else was doing at home, what the family doing, who's doing what, who needs to be where. It was just my time just to switch off, don't worry about children at school, just switch your brain off and worry about putting one foot in front of the other. And kind of over that year, it's almost a year now since I started that, I've done a couple of 10K races and I am planning and I am going to do a half marathon back end of this year. And then hopefully if that one doesn't kill me, I'll do a marathon next year.
You will, with all the training that you've been doing and all the stuff you've been doing with us to complement your running, you will be, I feel very confident you'll be in a good place, definitely.
Yeah.
And just kind of going back to what you were saying there, I want to say thank you so much for sharing that, because there will be a lot of people listening to this who either have been in a similar situation or are in a similar situation right now where they feel like they have lost a bit of themselves. And they either feel like they've had a bit of an identity crisis having children, or they might feel like they fall to the bottom of the pile all the time and everything else and everyone else should come before them. But they're feeling that mum guilt or that parent guilt, that if you do something for yourself, actually it's a selfish thing, whereas it's actually the reverse, and it is the least selfish thing you can do, because by filling up your cup, then you're able to turn up as best mum and best colleague and best partner, because you're feeling good in yourself. And
Definitely.
I think it's really important to bring that up, and what you've done by taking those steps forward to make sure that you fit your time in is so important. So well done you for doing that, Kate. And kind of, could you explain a little bit about what you're doing at the moment then? How do you fit your time in with being so busy at work and with the kids and with the grandkids? How do you fit your time in?
So for me, I've only been with you since March time. So I went back to the gym in January because I was finding that everyone kept saying I got really bad shin splints from running. I was like, oh, something's not right. And then people kept saying, well, you need to do a bit more strength work. You need to do this. You need to do other things. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to do that because it's quite a schedule to plan around just getting out for a couple of runs every week. So I actually joined the gym in January and I was getting up at probably 4:30, 5 o'clock, getting to the gym, doing that. And just 4 or 5 weeks, it just crushed me because I can't keep getting up at the crack. Like I just can't keep getting up at that time and doing all of that. So I started thinking, well, maybe I need a personal trainer. Maybe that'll motivate me. Actually, then I just happened to stumble across kind of your world, your advert. Thought, oh, is this right? Is this for me? Not sure. Don't know. We had a little chat. Kind of decided, right, might as well go for it. What have I got to lose? So for me, the 6:30 lives work brilliantly because it is very much some mornings. I get out of bed at 6:25 and then I'm downstairs at past doing my workout and I'm done before 7 o'clock, before the rest of the house is up, before anybody else is awake. Like people say, you can shut the dishwasher on 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, you're doing your workout. And for me, that just works like a dream. And also having the on demand, if I've got 20 minutes to spare, which is rare, but does happen sometimes, I can just jump on and I'm going to do a bit of that today. So it just fits in wherever you've got 20 minutes to spare, half an hour to spare. Like it really just is so flexible. And the fact that there's so much, variety in there as well. It means you can choose what you want to do when you want to do it. So it's great. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. And I know as well, since you joined, you've been using the classes to complement your training. So like you said there, you were getting shin splints. Well, and I know a lot of people who say, I'm going to do couch to 5K. And that's great. But if that's all you do, it's not so great because you do need to be working your strength. You need to be working your core like Pilates. So what I do with the 6:30s is, I mean, you'll know this, Kate, but if you come to the 6:30s or the 9:30s, or you do them later with the other squaddies on live replay, or you do them on demand, like if you follow it, I split them up over the week to get that variety in. So that if you show up at that time every day, get it into your routine, you will be working your cardio, you will be working strength, and you will be working your core and flexibility. So that's basically the thinking's done.
Definitely.
Like you said, roll out of bed at 6:25 and that's all you need to do.
Absolutely. And it's great. Like I can feel that, I can really feel the strength in my legs when I run up a hill now. I can feel my legs are stronger. I can feel like I'm less likely to stumble. When I'm running, I feel more stable. And I was showing off to some of my class the other day, trying to do the splits in the playground as well, which they thought was quite funny, actually. I was nearly there. They were like, come on, you can do it. And I was like, no further. It's fine. I was quite impressed because I was like, I've never quite got that low before. So there you go.
That's amazing though, isn't it? Like so many different areas of progress in such a short space of time as well. Like you've been with us for 3 months now. So just think, if this is how much progress you can make in 3 months, where are you going to be in the next 3? And then the next 3 and the next 3. And that's why I think with everything you've done, I know you want to work towards the marathon next year. There's no reason why you can't do this. Just keep doing what you're doing right now.
And just getting into that routine, like it is just I'm awake at that time in the morning now, every day, weekends, school holidays. I'm awake at 6-ish probably normally, but sometimes I roll over. But my body gets in that routine now and it's not difficult. Like I did not used to be a morning person at all. Like if you ask my husband, he like, don't speak to her in the morning, absolutely not. But now I get up and I'm straight into it and it really sets me up for the day as well. So
yeah, it's that energizing start to the day, isn't it? And I think you're so right. I think getting it into your routine just makes it easier because it genuinely is part of your day and you just don't have to think about it because you just do it. It's like brushing your teeth or making a cup of tea in the morning or whatever. You just do it. Yeah, it just makes life so much easier. Now I'd love to talk a little bit more. I know we've touched on it about the marathon that you're training for next year, and I know that it's something really important to you. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and what you're doing to train for that right now?
Yeah, like my motivation is pretty big. So 3 years ago, my mum, it was 3 years ago, probably about this time, actually, it's just after my birthday. So middle of June, mum was like fit and healthy, 76, and she just had a seizure. Luckily, my brother was there. Anyway, after lots of investigating, we found out she had a brain tumour. Unfortunately for her, it turned out to be a very serious one, a glioblastoma. Can't really say it still, but basically a very aggressive brain tumour. She was fit and well, and she died within 9 weeks. So we went from having our mum fit and well to 9 weeks later, just gone. And it was, gosh, the most earth-shattering thing, and it feels probably still like yesterday, to be honest. It's very, very difficult. We lost my dad 2 years before that, so I was only 40. I was only 40 and I was orphaned, which is quite dramatic, but it was really life-changing for my brother and myself. And I've kind of always wanted to do something in her memory. She was just an amazing woman. The kindest, loveliest person you could ever wish to meet, the best parent like we could ever wish for. My brother and I, very lucky to have her. And I know a lot of awful things happen to people a lot younger, and she was an older person, but it was still very devastating for him and I. And there was no kind of signs of it beforehand. So for me, it's all about kind of doing it in memory, and then also raising money for brain tumour research. There's not an awful lot out there about it. Nobody could tell us why. She wanted to know why. Nobody could give her any answers. And I would hope, hopefully it's not, genetic, but you kind of think, well, perhaps it could be, you don't know. So it's to do kind of raise some money, put it towards brain tumour research, and hopefully kind of just get a bit more awareness and research into kind of why that happens. And yeah, so she would find it hilarious because obviously I used to hate running when I was at school. So I also find it quite amusing and quite ironic that she would be sitting there thinking, oh, what are you doing? Like, you used to hate cross country, you lunatic. But yeah, so it's very personal to me. It's kind of big motivation, and you need that motivation, I think, to run a marathon probably as well. So
yeah, definitely. And I think I'm so sorry to hear this, and I can't imagine how hard it's been for you the past few years, like not even just the past 3, but the past 5. And I think what you're doing is so special. And I'm sure I should be even extra proud of you for the fact that you used to hate running, and now look at you, you're just doing like the ultimate. So I'm sure I should be extremely, extremely proud. And we will all be backing you at the squad as well. We'll be cheering for you 100%. Yeah, I think I think it'll be a very, very emotional time, but it'll be something that is also so special.
yeah,
To it too. Yeah. I do remember when I ran the marathon, obviously that, pretty much everyone there is doing it for a cause that's very close to their hearts. And as you get towards the finish line, it is almost that like elation, and you see a lot of people really, really just feeling that special moment. And yeah, you'll be feeling that special moment for sure. So Kate, how are we going to make sure you're marathon ready? What does your current training program look like?
Just doing what I'm doing, but upping the runs, getting the longer runs in, and just trying to stay fit. I know probably a month or so ago, I kind of had a bit of a wobble, and my hips started to hurt, and my shoulders started to hurt. And I think it's just making sure I've got the balance as well. I can be a bit of an all or nothing person at times. And I think I've just wind myself back in a little bit and thought, oh, I don't need to do 4 classes every day. Like, that's too much, just wind it in, do what you need to do, and fit it in, and listen to your body as well. Because actually, I was running, sometimes my hip was hurting, I carried on running, and I thought, that hasn't done me any favors. I need to just stop, find out what it is, do some work to make it right, and then gradually build it back up again. You just have to make sure you're listening to what your body's telling you. I think sometimes you think, oh, just carry on, it'll be fine. Actually, no, I wouldn't have thought it very often that happens. So
it's so true. And it's often those little niggles can become something that's really big that actually then takes a really long time to recover from. So as soon as you feel anything like that, it's like, nope, schedule in a rest day and just start again when you feel, better from that. Because in reality, a couple of days after a little niggle, it's probably going to have gone and you won't have lost anything in that time. And one thing you'll find as well is as you increase the length of your runs, you'll need to be taking more rest because, it's like train hard and then rest even harder. So if you're having
Yeah.
days at a time when you're taking rest because your body needs it, and you'll be getting to the end of like the couple of days, like twiddling your thumbs, like do do do, I'm ready now. But
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think you're so right. It's about having that respect for your body, and it's really great that you are doing that. It's really good that you're listening to your body, all the niggles and anything, just stopping. So before we conclude the Meet the Squaddies podcast today, do you have any parting advice or any tips or anything you wish you would have known at the start of your journey?
Gosh, it's a really hard question because I do think everybody's journey is very individual. And I just think for me, it was about putting myself first. And even when you think you haven't got time, like just even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, like just find yourself a little window somewhere in your day. Like, I don't believe anyone, well, honestly, the busiest people, if you can't find yourself 5 or 10 minutes in a day, like you need to. And you just have to make that time, even if it's just, it's not even exercise, even it's for your mental health, to outside, have a cup of tea, listen to the birds. Like William and I went for a walk the other day and I said, just stop a minute and listen. And it was lovely because all we could hear was birds and it was so nice. And I just think you've got to make time for yourself and make time for things that are important. Because actually, like my mum's story, kind of, she thought she had probably more years than what she had. And I think if you don't put yourself first, what's the point? That's a bit deep, maybe, but
No, not at all. I think it's really, really important. It's about putting life into your years, isn't it? Life into the years that you have here. And just on the note of William, I just want to tell everyone who's listening that William quite often joins in with you, doesn't he, Kate?
he
And
does. He
he
pops in
did
sometimes.
yeah, he did our live classes the other week. So I also want to say an extra well done to you, because not only are you showing up for number one, mum, but also he's seeing that, and he is seeing you just role model an active lifestyle, and one, how normal it is, like it, and how it should be, just part of the norm, part of what you do, but also how accessible it can be. You
Yeah.
can just literally be in your home doing a workout. You can go out on a run. You don't have to make it hard. If you've got 5 minutes here or there, you just do it. Just grab those 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
I want to say well done on so many fronts, Kate. I think you're a
Oh, thank
real
you.
role model.
Thank you. And he loves the protein challenge. Now he's like, well, how much protein in this, mummy? How much protein in this? You know,
That's brilliant.
taking over William's world as well now.
Yes,
But he thinks
William.
you're a proper celebrity, Lorna. He thinks you're like, oh, look, like, gets me excited.
Oh.
Are we live now? Is it on demand?
Oh, you need to bring him along to a social, and then
Yeah,
have a photo with him.
yeah, I will.
We have a selfie together. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, bless him. Do you know what? On the protein challenge, everyone's talking about it. I'm loving it. I think everyone's getting into it so much, aren't they?
Well, never knew. I never knew it was so important. So,
Yeah, no, it's
yeah.
been a good exercise for sure.
Oh,
Anyway, Kate, I won't take up any more of your evening. A huge, huge thank you for joining me tonight, and also a massive thank you for being part of our family.
oh, thank you, Lorna. It's made a huge difference to my life. So,